Hey friend, have you been toying with the idea of serving a new audience or testing out a new offer, but you feel overwhelmed because you feel like you have to rebrand your business to do it? If so, you are not alone. I'm hearing this everywhere right now as we're heading into the fall. People are feeling called to pivot or to try something new, but they're stuck. And I've got good news for you. There is a better, simpler way. That's why I'm bringing back one of my favorite episodes. This was originally episode 7, but it's one I talk about all the time with clients. It's all about a low risk, smart approach to trying out a niche without the stress or the commitment that comes with doing a full rebrand. So if you've been feeling niche curious or maybe even a little pivot resistant, this one's for you. Let's talk today about how to test the waters, get paid to experiment, and get more clarity through action before this year is over. Welcome to the Establish Yourself podcast, the show that helps coaches and consultants get clear on how to talk about what you do, simplify your offers, and have more fun in your business and beyond. I'm Annie Franceschi, brand strategist, author, former Disney storyteller, and forever Muppet fan. I'm here to help you clarify your message, package your expertise, and streamline your systems to grow a business you actually enjoy. If you're ready for less confusion and more magic, it's time to establish yourself. I was having lunch at Kava with one of my friends in the online business world, and we were talking shop a little bit, and the conversation turned to branding. And I remember this friend of mine was sharing that she was really considering doubling down on only serving artists, but she felt nervous to make her audience so much smaller than it currently is. It's currently all service providers. So we had this conversation, and I said, you don't have to go all in on that all at once. You could simply create an offer or a program specifically for artists and see how that goes. The look of relief on her face when I said you don't have to rebrand to try a niche or try a pivot, it was remarkable. Like I saw her body just literally relax, and she looked at me and she's like, "Thank you for saying that. It's really good to know I can do that." And it occurred to me that maybe other people don't know this. And this is something that I have helped people do. I have an experience I call package or process. And that's where I work with coaches and consultants to not only rebrand a business, but maybe you want to try an offer. I want to share with you 5 principles of how you might try out a niche at low risk without having to rebrand, with the idea of getting some information and maybe even getting some revenue out of it. Let's get into how do we do that today? How can we let you try niching, get results, and build some confidence without having to risk knowing where your brand identity is going? The first piece of this is the idea that it's an experiment. Think of yourself as a scientist. You can experiment within your broader business. You can come up with a specific offer. It's like putting your toe in the water instead of diving headfirst into the deep end. I worked with a client named Kathy, a leadership coach, an executive coach, and she and I did package your process with the expert together, a VIP day with me, plus my system for package your process. So she and I worked together when she had no brand. She didn't really even have a logo. And not having her business perfectly branded felt like a huge holdback for her. She offers now what we call an executive roadmap, helping people get promoted to their next role and figure out whether it is time to stay or go. What we were able to do just by making the decision of we're not going to brand the business overall, we're just going to get an offer together. I even threw together a quick business logo in Canva during this experience so she'd look the part. But putting together that one-page website and that clear executive roadmap offer, that's a game changer. That's something that she can use literally the next day to start figuring out if this is a problem she wants to solve. What I want to encourage you to do is to start thinking about what is that thing you really wanted to try that maybe the feeling of needing a whole new website or the perfect message or the perfect logo has been holding you back. Could you get around that by branding an offer instead? Coming up with a name for an offer, putting out either a one-page website or even just a one-page PDF. This is what I help people create. This is what I include as Canva templates in my package or process with the expert experience. So you can create a one-page PDF that explains a simple offer that solves a clear problem for your ideal client or maybe a subset of your ideal client. Okay, so you're going to brand your offer instead of the business. What's the other piece you need to understand? Clarity attracts clients. When you try to speak to everybody, nobody hears you. But when you get clear and specific, the right people know your offer is for them. Could you get way better results if you were being way more specific? So, when you say, I coach executives at every level versus somebody that's like, hey, I'm going to help you get promoted to your executive role and figure out whether you should stay or go in your current one, that is way more specific and is going to speak more directly to that person. For years, I've been writing brand voice guides. I've written over 100 of them. And I can tell you that I can come up with just about any message that will make you having a very different business, a business that serves lots of different audiences with lots of different services. I can make that sound good, but if nobody connects with it, what's the point? People might understand the words on the page and say, that sounds good. But if they don't go, that's me, that's where we lose people. And the best way to get people to say, that's me, is to be clear. And when you brand an offer, you have more permission, freedom, and flexibility to put more specific messaging around that offer, service, or program. The third piece of this idea of creating a niche offer is I want you to get paid to experiment. I want you to get paid to figure it out. You and I don't know if whatever you're going to put out there is going to get you clients or it's going to make you money. I certainly have experience. I've seen certain things work. I have a creative mind, all the good stuff. But you and I aren't going to know how this is going to work until you put it out into the world. When you brand just an offer, you have the potential to get paid to experiment. I ran a read along of Establish Yourself, my book that this podcast is based on, and I put it out in the world. It was $19 and it came with a copy of the book. I didn't know if 5 people or 10 people or 15 people were going to sign up for this. It was going to make any sense. But I put it out there and we had 83 people sign up and I made over $1,000, which I was like, dang, that was great. It led to $18,000 in client work on top of that. Amazing. I got paid to figure out whether it made sense for me to do a read along. Now, I easily could have put it out there and made no money and been like, well, there's no audience for this. It gave me something to offer in the summer. And it led to me nearly selling out my group version of Package Your Process, which was offered in October. So that's what I mean by get paid to figure it out. It's so much more potentially profitable for you to stand up and offer you're curious about for an audience you want to try, a skill set or a solution you want to try, or both. Because if you're at all right, now we always worry about what if we're wrong. What if you're right? You're going to get paid to have run that experiment. Okay. Even if it's something you decide, hey, I was curious about this. I didn't love it. So you're glad you didn't go to that huge extent of rebranding, right? So that's what I mean by get paid to experiment. So I want you to think about, even if it's something small and inexpensive, how could you use a niche offer to get paid to see if this is a direction you want to go? One of the other reasons I love the idea of niching the offer and testing out niching with an offer is that you get to minimize the risk, but maximize the data. Experimenting with an offer is a much smaller commitment than having to rebrand everything. It is faster, it's cheaper, it gets you data that you can actually trust because it's about your business and the people you already know. The thing that I found is that trying things and having this permission to kind of put out a program, put out an offer, it could even be a one-to-one VIP day. By doing it, you learn how to change that messaging time over time. So figuring out what's resonating and what's not and what your clients like and what they don't. You're getting paid to figure that out. You're getting information that's going to make the next thing you do that much better. Gosh, for years, I've had coaches and consultants come to me and say, well, I'm stuck because I don't have the perfect message or I don't have the perfect website. And, we'd go through and we create those things. But at the end of the day, they still didn't have something for sale that they believed in, that they were confident about. And I'm really passionate about helping you get a practical win, taking practical action, because in the world of branding and marketing, you can spend hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and never feel like you've crossed everything off, never feel like you've done enough. And there is a time and a place to brand your business. I certainly still offer those services. I do done for you branding. The time to brand or rebrand and to invest in a professional to do that is when you are clear on what you do. You have an offer that is working for you and it is compelling and it's the audience you want to get, and you want to increase your rates, get more of your favorite clients, and put out with clarity and confidence what you are all about. By all means, come talk to me. I can help you with the brand story solution to help you come up with your clear marketing message, your consistent visual brand, and that compelling website. However, if that didn't resonate with you, if you're at a place where you're like, I'd like to be there, but I still need to experiment. I'm still not sure about exactly the audience I want to serve or what I want to offer them or what problems I want to solve. That is the time to package your process. That is the time to brand an offer and not risk all the work and all the spinning of wheels that happens when you rebrand a business. Because if you rebrand your business but aren't clear on what you're offering, that's potentially an enormous waste of time, money, and resources. Niching your offer instead of your business brand first is hugely flexible, hugely nimble, and so valuable. Everyone already has a niche, but it's just a question of how specific you want to be. You don't have to decide everything up front. I wish someone had told me that because I resisted niching for so long because I thought, well, I have all this value to offer others. But I will tell you that I 3x'd and quadrupled my revenue and at least tripled my profit, and my marketing became dramatically simpler and easier when I went from serving all small business owners down to service business owners, now to coaches, consultants, and service providers. It's not even crazy specific. It's not just leadership coaches, for example. You get to pick where this is. And I'll tell you that I only got to the niche that I'm currently in through experimentation and through learning who have been my favorite clients, who have been the easiest to work with, who need me the most. So that's what I want to share with you today is if it's been on your mind at all or it's been weighing on you that you feel like you are stuck on how to test out specificity and all of its potential value, then I want to encourage you, let's try branding an offer. I want you to get clear about a specific offer that solves a specific problem. I want you to get paid to experiment. I want you to have low risk and maximize the information so that you know what to do next. So you don't stay stuck and you take that all important, messy action. I know niching can feel really overwhelming, and that's why I created Package Your Process with the Expert. This is a VIP experience where we brand your next offer together. You get clear on what you're offering, who it's for, and how to sell it confidently without the stress of a full rebrand. So when we work together, I, as a concierge, will help you create this niche offer. Wherever you want to go, whatever you want to test, we're going to come up with something you can go sell tomorrow, and you're going to get access to the entire Package Your Process system. That's having me on demand in short videos and all my Canva templates and all my marketing templates that work like Mad Libs. So we work together to get that first experiment up and running. And then guess what? You get the repeatable step-by-step system to brand and sell all of your offers with confidence going forward. If this sounds like it could be useful, I do offer free consultations. So if you want to hop on my calendar, there's a link here in the show notes, or you can just head to greateststorycreative.com and click the big red button in the top right corner for free consult, and my calendar is right there. I'd be happy to talk with you and help you figure out, is it time to try an offer? I just want you to know when it feels like you can't do anything without risking and going all in on a rebrand, there is this secret answer C. You can try a niche. Start by branding your offer. I'm here for you if you need help. And until then, I'm wishing you all the opportunities to get paid to figure it out. Hey, do you like surprises? The credits are about to roll, but just like a Marvel movie, stick around to the end for something I put in just for you. Thanks for listening to the Establish Yourself podcast. I'm Annie Franceschi, and if you're enjoying the show, it would mean so much to me if you follow it, leave a quick rating, or share it with a friend. And for free branding resources and more ways to work together, head to greateststorycreative.com/podcast. Now here it is, your moment of magic. So when I was in college, I took this class that was all about genetics and literature. And we had an upcoming paper, and we had to read this like super dry 400-page novel that I had absolutely no interest in reading. So I went to the professor and I said, "Hey, have you seen the movie Lilo and Stitch?" It's a Disney movie if you haven't seen it. Stitch is a genetically engineered character. He's an alien, but he's been experimented on and created by a scientist. I said, "This is a movie that's all about genetics and literature. Can I write the paper on Lilo and Stitch instead of this book?" And he said, "Well, I haven't seen the movie, but sure." And that is how I talked my professor into letting me write a paper on Lilo and Stitch instead of a 400-page novel. So I share that with you to say, perhaps there's always a secret answer C, another way of doing something you hadn't considered, or just something that feels a little bit easier for you to pull off.